In a time of war, intrigue, and shifting alliances, a foreigner washes ashore in Japan and rises to become one of the most powerful outsiders in samurai history. If you've seen the recent Emmy-winning series Shogun, you've met John Blackthorne, the English navigator caught in the power struggles of 17th century Japan. But what if I told you that this character was based on a real historical figure? William Adams, an Englishman who became the first and only Western samurai in Japan's history. This is his extraordinary story. Shogun brings us deep into the world of Japan's Sengoku period, a time of chaos, civil war, and ruthless ambition. The show's protagonist, John Blackthorne, is an English sailor who finds himself shipwrecked in a foreign land, only to be drawn into the deadly political games of Japan's warlords. His fate intertwines with that of Lord Toranaga, a brilliant leader inspired by the real-life shogun Tokugawa Ieyasu. But who was Blackthorne based on? The answer lies in the story of William Adams, an English navigator who arrived in Japan in 1600 and became a trusted samurai under Tokugawa Ieyasu himself. Born in England in 1564, William Adams was a navigator and pilot for the Dutch East India Company. In 1600, his ship, the Liefde, wrecked on the shores of Japan after a grueling 2-year voyage. Only 24 crew members survived, and the Japanese immediately imprisoned them, suspecting them of being pirates. Among them was Adams, the ship's navigator. But fate had other plans. Instead of being executed, Adams was brought before Tokugawa Ieyasu, the powerful warlord who was on the verge of uniting Japan. Ieyasu was fascinated by Adams. This foreigner had knowledge of European shipbuilding, navigation, and world affairs. Unlike the Jesuit missionaries who had been in Japan for decades, Adams was a Protestant and had no religious agenda. He was simply a sailor and a scholar of the seas. As Adams gained Ieyasu's trust, he was given unprecedented privileges. He was granted an estate, a samurai title, and even 2 swords, the mark of a true warrior. This was unheard of for a foreigner. The Japanese called him Miura Anjin, meaning the pilot of Miura, named after the land he was given. While he could never be a full daimyo or hold military command, Adams was treated as a samurai, living by their customs and traditions. He even had a Japanese wife and children, fully embracing the culture. In 1603, Tokugawa Ieyasu officially became shogun, the supreme military ruler of Japan. With Ieyasu in power, Adams' position was secure. He became Japan's key link to the outside world, helping establish trade with the Dutch while keeping the Portuguese and Spanish influence in check. But despite his high status, Adams could never return to England. His requests to leave were denied, and he spent the rest of his life in Japan. He died in 1620, having served 20 years under the Tokugawa shogunate. His legacy? A samurai who was not born Japanese, a rare and remarkable story. Surprisingly, despite his pivotal role in Japanese history, William Adams is not as widely known in the West, but in Japan his legacy lives on. His grave in Hirado, a site where visitors still come to honor him. Miura Anjin Festival, Sanpu Anjinji, an annual event celebrating his story. Anjin Street in Ito City, a historical landmark named after him. A statue in his honor, near his former residence in Japan. Even today, Adams is respected as a bridge between East and West, a man who not only survived in a foreign land but thrived, adapted, and became one of its own. So what do you think? Could you have survived in feudal Japan like William Adams? Let us know in the comments below. And if you love history, samurai legends, and hidden stories from the past, subscribe for more deep dives into the extraordinary figures who shaped our world. See you in the next one. History is full of untold stories. Let's uncover them together.